It's 2024. It's a new year. It's a brand new Jim's Cantina with a new intro. And for those of you that have never been to Jim's Cantina before, it's basically just me and a guest. This time I have the amazing Sheena SJ Weathering with me,
Hello.
where we sit and we chill and we chat and we have a drink. See, look, Sheena's already on it.
I'm having a drink.
I've got mine here. And it's a way for people to get to know different members, I don't want to say it, of the community. We all know how much I love that term. But Sheena, hello, welcome to Jim's Cantina. I
Hello.
mean, to be fair, it's been a long time coming for this.
It has, hasn't it? Yes.
Yeah. Sheena's been on numerous lives. You're even on Rebel Waste Radio for a little bit. And you know what? I prefer this. I prefer this where it's very, very chilled, not live, where we get to sit and we get to talk about specifically Star Wars and our guests' experience in the Star Wars universe. So, Sheena, start off, tell everybody your socials and briefly tell people what you do.
So you can find me at SJ Weathering, be it on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram. And I essentially take lightsabers from nice, clean, and shiny and make them dirty, used, and grimy. Often with cutting, but some people, like you, Jim, refuse to let me cut your lightsabers.
I let you nick one of
Nick
mine.
one, yeah.
Just
one nick.
That's all. The thing is, weathering is very big in the lightsaber community. Like, a lot of people don't like the shiny lightsabers. I do. I'm one of those weird people where I'm like, no, I love it to look perfect and pristine.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there that want their sabers to look like they've been in universe, they've been used, they've been hanging around for many, many moons. And that's where you come in. So when you sit there and you say, yeah, I just dirty sabers up, that's underselling yourself by a long way. You do some incredible work. Like, you can, like, so you have done work for me. My Starkiller came pristine, and that's the one saber where I was like, that shouldn't be pristine. In the game, it's not pristine. I'm very much of an in-universe person, so I want it to look like it does in-universe. So I sent my Starkiller over to you. I will put a link to the video of the re-review once you've done it. I did a whole review of that. And I was like, please do your thing. And you took that saber from looking like a nice, fine
shiny
lightsaber.
Fingerprint magnet.
Yeah. Oh, it was definitely a fingerprint magnet. To essentially what it looks like in the game. And I was just like, this is perfect. So that's not easy. I've seen people try and do weathering, and they don't have the hand that you have. So much so that Padawan Outposts now actually get you to do weathering on their sabers, which is incredible.
They do.
You're currently working on Starkillers as I speak.
Yes, they'll be going back to Monday or Tuesday, actually.
Lovely.
It's quite exciting.
Do you have anything that you can show right there? Do you have anything?
I've got a few, to be fair. I've got my personal Starkiller.
Hey.
So
there you go.
This is my personal
Do you know
Starkiller.
what? There we go.
Okay, so there we go. Excuse my light shining on it. In mine, I've put a
look at the size of that crystal.
It's massive. Let's give it a little look. There we go. Took this bit out as well. Let's put the damage on it. I just made it dirty. Crashy.
Again, you say you make it dirty, but it's not just a case of making it dirty. It's a case of weathering it in the right places, because anyone can just rub anything over a lightsaber. But there are key parts of a lightsaber that have to be weathered. and that's what you're able to do. You're able to like take it where if it's got ribs, like it's darker
Yeah.
inside, and and then it becomes light around the edge. Now that for me, I think that's a very very good skill. Something I couldn't do. So do you want to talk about your process a little bit, and why you started doing it as well? Because
Yeah.
it's not this normal sort of thing where people go, you know what, I'm going to learn to do. Make a
I'm gonna
dirty
make a
lightsaber.
lightsabers. Yeah. So I started doing it just because I didn't like a clean lightsaber, and if I thought about if I actually had and wielded a lightsaber in real life, it would not be clean. Like it would be dirty in places. Grime would build up, stuff would build up. I can't get on board with chrome. I can't stand it. I don't want to see the fingerprints. I've got one of my early ones actually here, so you can see when I first started out. This was my first ever staff. This has got the new coupler, quick release coupler from
Nice.
And this was my first one. This was red when it started, and the other one was blue.
Oh wow!
And you can see I've obviously gone on a bit, on a bit of a journey. Learned my wrapping from KR Saber's video. Watched that a million times and learned how to leather wrap. Started off with flat handled hilts. Now I'm able to now do like this one's got the grooves and stuff, so I'm able to do that quite comfortably. So I just wanted my lightsabers to look used and dirty and beaten up, and like they could tell a story. Like this has been used, it's been on a journey. I've got my latest one is my 89 sabers.
You're gonna keep doing this to me, aren't you?
I am, yeah, sorry. The latest one is my 89 sabers. Again, wanted it to look used and in game.
I mean, that's very, very as it is in game with the broken and the rust at the end as well. It really does. It does make a difference. That's another saber where I'm like, that should
has to be done, doesn't it? And I got because I'd done that. I didn't prepare this one, but then I did. This is my first ever LGT Cal Kestis. It's the old one. I've upgraded the grip that I got from Padawan and stuff. This came from Padawan. But again, I just wanted it to look more used, which it does. The rusting went well.
It really did.
And just more
so again,
in game.
Again, that's the sort of thing where you're like, you've taken what looks kind of plain, and given it a story, and that's I think very important about in my opinion, certain sabers, because a lot of mine are still very very shiny. Like my Kenobi is super shiny, and nobody likes the shiny Kenobi. Everybody's like, no, it's Kenobi saber, it's got to be weathered, and I'm like, but I like it shiny. I like it to look like it's the day that he built it.
Yeah, my Kenobi is weathered, and I've got one to weather still. That's my Ben one from Padawan Outpost. So again, I tried to do the grip section dirty at the top, get some around here, just so it looks used. It's like it's been held and it's been in a few battles, and it's
weirdly as well. What that seems to do is it seems to make them look more expensive.
100%.
Like it shouldn't. You're essentially damaging a perfectly made saber, but but not really, because you're like, actually what I'm doing is making it more in universe and more, what's the word, accurate. It's definitely more accurate. And so I think because of that, people see accuracy and they think the more accurate it is, the higher cost it is. But I mean, you've taken something that's pretty standard, and you're like, I can make that look better. So how do you do it? Because I don't understand.
So initially, my early, like this one, for example, was literally oven cleaner to strip off the red or blue adonizing, whichever one it is. This in here is actually metal paint, a lot of sandpaper, and a little. I don't think I started using aluminium black back then. It was just sandpaper and paint. Then I started watching a ton of videos, and I thought actually I can darken down the aluminium. So I'm now quite confident with the chemicals. I use aluminium black. I've sometimes used some car spray paints. I brought a rusting kit, so I'm comfortable obviously with the rusting now. Bit of acrylic paints. And for me, it's just weirdly I find it really relaxing to sit and weather a
Mm.
lightsaber. It's like it's started off as a hobby, and then people started saying, can you do that for me? Can you do that? Can I pay you to do that? Will you do that? So then I thought, well, and that's for fact, it was you saying to me, you need to get paid, you need to get paid, you need to get paid. So SJ
Right.
Weathering was born. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're offering a service, I think you should get paid for that service, especially when
Yeah.
you do it well.
Yeah.
You know.
But no, so for me, it's weird. Obviously I haven't got a massive business. I just do a few lightsabers here and there for people. But I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy the process. I've done quite a few. Simon in the UK group, I've done quite a few for him, and he sends me pictures. And he's like, this is my saber. I want it to look like that, so I can work from pictures. He
Okay.
sends me drawings and stuff. And I can just kind of go sit at my table, do a couple of hours of weathering, and just come away from it thinking like, yeah, that was good. Sometimes it doesn't go well, but luckily so far I've been able to fix most of the things I've done. With my own sabers. I'm quite, I just cut it. I'll just do this. I'll do that. But with a customer saber, it's very different. I'm really sort of crystal clear on what I can do, what I can't do. I know my
Yeah.
limitations, and I won't ever take on a commission that I think, I can't do that or I can't do it justice. Somebody came to me for a Kylo once, and I was like, no, the scale cannot do Kylo. Absolutely not. So I sent him on to someone else, which is fair of me. I'm not going to take sort of people's money to probably never send the hilt back and hide because I've ruined his Kylo.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that I got as well is when you were doing my Starkiller, you kept updating me.
Yeah.
Like constantly with pictures and videos, and you were like, how's this? Would you like more? how's it looking? And it was very much a collaborative process where I was like, I like this. I'd like it if it was a little bit more here. You've done enough of this part. And I really appreciated that because I have had an experience in the past where someone has weathered something within an inch of its life, and I'm like, I didn't ask for any of that.
You're like, no.
So if you wouldn't mind, just and I'm pretty sure you fixed that as well.
Yes, I did. You sent it
Yeah.
over. Sorted that one out
So
for you.
so that's the other thing is like Sheena's not only good at weathering, she's actually good at de-weathering.
It's a two-way process because it's their lightsaber or it's your saber, and I want to give it back to you how it is you envisioned it when you sent it to me.
Yeah.
So it is. I do send a lot of updates. I do send a lot of videos. I'm comfortable to say like, send me some photos of kind of what you want. Before I always see the saber before, I always kind of get an idea of what they want before, so I can make that decision of whether or not I can do it. And then it's progress all the way. Because if I go too far, I've got to undo what I did. But so far, everyone's been really pleased with their work, so that's been fantastic.
Oh yeah, I mean it's stellar work, and the thing is, you can tell that by the fact that, obviously, you and I are very good friends with Jazz and Dave over at Padawan Outpost.
Love them.
They're just the best. But it shows how good you are when the fact that they reached out to you and said, "Can you take some of our sabers and weather them up so that we can offer weathered versions of them?" And I think you did the maul first.
I did
Is
their
that right?
mauls, yeah. I think I did 4 or 5 for them.
Yeah, and I was actually working in situ when they came back, and I got to see them, and that they were incredible. Like, because again, that's a saber that looks super shiny and super
Yes.
produced. You know what I mean? Like you open the box and you're like, it's a bit of a glare off that one. It's a bit too much. But then when we opened the box and yours were in there, I was just like, that's Darth Maul's lightsaber. That's how it should look. And when you can take something like your one and put it next to one that Multiverse Props has done, and you're like, I mean, they're pretty comparable, and so that's like because Multiverse Props have kind of been the go-to for weathering for many years. They've been at the top of the game, and
He does
rightly so, because
amazing
their
work,
stuff
though,
is
to be fair.
incredible.
Yeah.
Um,
I have my Chaos Scavenger was weathered, but I prayed for the Mighty First Class
yes,
weathering. Wow. I was blown away when I got
which
it. I was
I've
just
also
like,
done a review of, so I'll put another link
yes.
to that
Yeah.
down below. And yeah, the weathering on that was just like, wow. Unfortunately, they're taking a step back from the
Yeah.
whole thing. We are seeing this a lot more and more at the moment. We're going to get into that whole side of things shortly, don't you worry, because we love to talk about these things. But the fact that they're stepping away, I definitely think that, you know, it gives the opportunity for other people, yourself, obviously, definitely closer to the top, for other people to be able to step in and say,
Yeah.
okay, well, they're not around, but I can do it for you. And I think that's really important, because we're always going to need people that do these things.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
because okay, let's just get down to brass tacks. Like, some of the big lightsaber producing companies, they have begun to start selling their own weathered versions of sabers.
Yeah.
Not always to the best degree,
Yeah. I do remember
shall we
seeing
say,
some Ben ones that I feel
that
like someone
were
just
not
took a
good
Dremel to them and went meow,
and
meow,
just
meow. That's
ran over
weathered.
them. So
Yeah.
that's exactly what it looked like. Yeah, I was there when those they turned up for the first time, and I
Yeah.
was just like, what is going on here? They're definitely getting better,
They are.
but
Yeah.
I
100%.
still do think there's very much, because it's produced in the hundreds,
Hmm.
probably, let's be fair, probably in the thousands.
Yeah.
There's less of a individual touch. They all end up kind of looking the same. Whereas with yours, like, you've done, how many Starkillers have you done for Dave?
5. Yeah,
Right,
5 Starkillers for Dave.
5. But I know that each one of those will look slightly different.
Well,
You know,
it's a funny story. So when I was doing the malls for Dave, he's like, "Can you do them all the same?" I was like, "No." I was like, and I'm
no,
not being difficult when I say that. I'm physically incapable of doing them the same, because even though I followed the same process, it just ends up looking different.
of course,
Um,
it's gonna.
and and yeah, and I think as well, like, it should be different, right? Your weathered
Yes,
saber should be different to someone else's weathered saber, and it should
yeah,
have something a little bit different to it. And weathering over time, it will weather a bit more. So the more you handle it, the more perhaps the lighter in places and that will get, and the darker in places it will stay, and it will really show how you use it and handle it. But for me, I definitely struggle with doing it the same.
yeah.
I'm sure if I probably applied myself, I'd be able to do it more consistently. But I like them to look different. So when you sent me the Starkillers, I was like, yeah, I mean, you're going to have to take a lot of photos, mate, because they're not going to look the same.
Yeah, but I think that's the point. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't think they should. Like, I mean, I'm not going to lie. It was an absolute nightmare for me when I was trying to match up the two halves of each mall. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. I'm like, that one's more weathered. That one's not as well. That they go together. But when it comes to like Starkillers, I'm like, no. They each one should look unique. And the thing is, then also, the things that people are getting are unique to themselves
Yeah.
as well. You know, it's just like, okay, I've got a weathered Starkiller. How does your weathered Starkiller look?
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure that your personal weathered Starkiller is going to look different than mine.
Yeah, 100%.
So, and I think that's kind of, for me, that's a big deal. I really like that. To the point that I'm about to send my Starkiller back to you for more work on it.
Yes, you are.
Because you do these things, and I get them, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then you go, oh, by the way, look what I've learned how to do now.
Yeah,
And
look
I'm
what
like,
I can do now.
oh, but I want that on mine. So like with yours, with the crystal that you changed in yours, you're going to be changing the crystal in mine for me to a crystal that's actually that I own, which is going to be super fun for you, I'm sure.
Yeah, be fine. That just happened with
yeah.
Starkillers, actually. I was literally had them done. I was ready to send them back, and then I'd been playing around with the chassis on mine, and just giving it a bit of
Let me
rub and buff.
bring you big.
Yeah, just giving it. I think it just like that was all black,
Yeah,
and I just think doing it with a bit of silver rub and buff over it just brings it. You know, you wouldn't take it off and expect it to be black or expect it to be gold, right? That's that. It shouldn't look like
yeah,
that.
nah, for sure, for sure.
So then
Yeah,
I
no,
had to,
personally, I think that looks
yeah.
incredible. Like,
So I had to message
and
Dave, and I was like, "Hey, I've decided I'm going to do this to sabers. I'll have them for a few more days. Sorry about that."
well, I was going to say please do it with mine too.
Of course.
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking about getting some of those battery wraps that they do
Yeah.
and put so that when you open it up, it looks like the internals of a lightsaber as opposed to the
Yeah.
internals that are just made. You know.
But with
Um.
my, you see, I've got a black battery in there. Honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't have any battery wraps, so I spray painted it black, which is probably
Yeah.
you shouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do it to customer saver, but it looked better
Yeah,
than
I'm
the
not sure you
purple one that
should.
was in there. No, I'm probably
Well,
going to blow up, right?
this is it. Like, it's a bright purple
Yeah,
battery. I'm like, this does not fit this saber at all.
no,
So those, and I think as time's going on, more and more people are enjoying the ability to open up their saber and for it to look
yeah,
special as well, which is why we get things like master chassis and things like that. Like, you know, that I've 3D printed my own chassis for my Luke, you know, so I
yeah,
got it in the exact color I wanted it, you know, and I think there's more of that coming. And I think the more personal people can make their saber, the more they love it, you
yeah.
know, and that's where people like you come in, because it's just like, well, I want it to look a certain way, so I'm gonna contact you and be like, hey Sheena, I've got more stuff for you. Talking of
I've
that,
got
I've got loads of stuff for you.
you have, haven't you? Yeah.
I've got a
The
box full
last
of
thing
stuff for you.
for my Starkiller is I'm going to light up the pommel. KR
Ooh,
does some pixel strips. He does circles, but I can't figure out how to get a circle in there. But he does pixel
right.
strips that I can fit in just in front of the speaker, hot glue it in, wire it down, and then the this will light up the same as the crystal and the blade. So that's the next thing. If I've got that mastered by the time I get my hands on yours, I will do the same.
Absolutely. Just
Yeah,
go nuts with it. I
yeah,
love it. I love it. So let's talk about, because obviously the thing that we bonded over first before anything else was lightsabers. Like,
yep.
you are a big deal in the UK lightsaber groups. Some might say you're the top dog. The maestro, the numero uno of the UK lightsaber groups. But
Do I
you've
have the
been,
power of the block button? The
yeah,
power of the
right.
admin button. Get out of the group.
That's why
Messing about.
everybody just be nice to Sheena.
Yeah,
Just
just be nice, folks. Don't be
um.
mean. Let's keep it fun.
So we've been here. We've been here a while now.
Yeah,
We've seen a lot of things going on, and there was a shift for a little while. I don't know about you, but when I first started collecting stuff, there were very few resellers. In
mm.
fact, for me, I found like two, and one of them was the worst company on the planet, and the other one was not great. But then, so it was very much like when I first got into this and I bought my first saber, it was very much bespoke,
Yeah,
individual, expensive sabers.
yes,
Um, which is great if you have the money, but if you don't, you were kind of left out on
mm.
the edge of the periphery looking in. Um,
Yeah,
then we saw the rise of resellers,
yeah,
which is like it. That's an interesting one in itself, because you're like, resellers are fantastic because they kind of they get to share the product with everybody then.
yeah.
But also the problem with that is everyone and their mum can be a reseller,
Can be a reseller. Yes.
which becomes a problem. So then there is very much a focus on the good resellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're talking about Padawan Outpost first and foremost,
100%.
because they are, in my opinion, the best reseller across the board. Like,
Yeah.
because also at this point, not only are they fantastic people. Not only do they supply the product so quick because they have everything in stock, which is key. They're not just a reseller at this point. Like,
No.
even just the step of reaching out to you and say, can you weather some of these sabers so we can offer some weathered sabers? Like, that's just one part of the fact that they're going, we love this product, but we think it can be better. And now to the point that they not only sell your standard reseller stuff, but they're doing higher end stuff.
High end as well.
They're getting their fingers in a lot of different pies, and rightly so. They deserve all the success in the world. But then what happened was it was just a run of resellers. Like,
it was carnage, wasn't it? It was literally like my next door neighbour was like, yeah, I've just seen a lightsaber, going to start a lightsaber company, going to start reselling. Like, what? People who like didn't understand lightsabers, customer service was shocking. And then you've got the companies that will charge you double the price of everyone else. What? Yeah, but I'm buying the same saber. Why is it double the price from you? Because you're just in it for the money, ripping people off, and you don't care about anything else.
And the problem with that is there was a lot of those, and because of the money that they started getting in, they were able to throw money at ads.
Yeah.
And TikTokers and all these things. So they would get pushed and pushed and pushed. And for you and I, we've had numerous conversations, almost daily, about
my daily reseller rant.
About how you're like, all these people that don't know what they're doing, that are charging too much, that are doing this, doing that. And, you know, it's frustrating for us. We've done everything we can to try and be like, listen, steer clear of this, this, and this. Keep an eye on this and this and this, and stick with these things. Now, we're not ashamed of saying that we'll happily just promote Padawan Outpost forever, because you know what?
Do you know what? So I love Jazz and Dave. I absolutely love them, but I've known Dave since before Padawan was even born. So Dave installed, when I got my first lightsaber, it was a plastic Hasbro Graflex that I don't have to hand. But anyway, so it was from Amazon. It was like 60 quid or something. And I was like, ooh, that's amazing. And then I did what everyone probably does and ordered a couple of Ultra Sabers mystery boxes because I didn't know any better. They probably got sold on. And then I was looking for a UK-based lightsaber company. And I come across a couple of like independent bespoke makers, quite expensive. Had a terrible experience with one of them. And then I was watching Cal on a live, and it was the live when Cal held up the bloody Diamante flagship that Saber Dave at the time his brother-in-law made for him. And I was just like, who has done this? And Cal being Cal was very open and honest. I sent him a few messages and he was like, look, Saber Dave, he's great, he's fantastic, he's really look after you. So I messaged him, I was like, hey, can you, I need a lightsaber, I don't really know what I want. And he was so patient with me, bless him. And then I brought my brass flagship that you've also reviewed because it's now my Wonder Woman flagship.
Yes.
Dave installed it. I screwed up the Profi config. I sent it back. Dave fixed it. He sent it back to me. Told me never to touch the config again. And then it was probably about 5 or 6 months after that. And like I say, Dave was very patient with me. I wanted to do these fonts. I wanted to do all this stuff. And then I broke it. And bless him, patience, like of a saint, an absolute, just send it back, I'll send you a shipping label, just send it back and I'll fix it, it's not a problem. And then I caught in the UK group, somebody dropped something about Padawan Outpost, and I was like, hey, who is Padawan Outpost? And he was like, it's Saber Dave, and it's Jazz, and I was just like, oh my God, no way. So because I have that history with Dave and how amazing he was, it was no brainer that I was going to buy my next lightsabers from him as soon as Padawan Outpost started. And I've met them at cons. I've been to the factory. They are just amazing people who will go to the ends of the earth to help you to fix a problem. I've seen, some of the problems people have had a problem, or like me broke their Profi config, and they are so quick and helpful to help you and sort it out. And it was way back when they'd order like a couple of hundred sabers, and they'd say like in minutes you'd be on the Padawan Outpost page.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got a mystery box. Come on. But just to see how they've grown, and just to see the stuff they bring now into the community. Like you say, they're doing high end. They're about to get some Vader's Vaults blasters, t-shirts. Your t-shirts are amazing. You can see
Thank
one
you.
of them up
Appreciate
there, which I have got another couple down there, which I've turned into pictures for my wall. But they just want to serve the UK community in the right way. They don't drop shit.
Yes.
They
No.
hold everything in stock in their UK warehouse, which is an amazing place to visit. But they do pat me down when I leave because apparently I try and steal stuff. But yeah, they're just
We had
amazing
to.
people, aren't they?
Like,
Yeah.
you walked out with a lot of stuff.
I did. I did.
Thing is, it
And
happens to me now. Now that I like, because obviously I worked for them, like in the warehouse, in in situ for nearly a year,
yeah,
designing things, fixing lightsabers, doing everything here, there, and everywhere. I stepped back from that just because my life became very, very busy and very difficult. But I still work very, very closely with them. Like those t-shirt designs that you've got, because I send them to you all the time. There's actually 6 more ready to go.
yes.
I don't know whether they're going to be making t-shirts of them soon. I have been like, maybe you should just do art prints of them because they would work.
Oh God, I'd so 100%.
Yeah,
I'll be all over that.
that's kind of my thinking. I'm like, yeah, just do like A3 art prints. I think they would look quite cool.
Or just do
but
both. Just do t-shirts
just
and give me art prints.
they can't do everything just for you, Sheena.
I know I'm very demanding. I get this. But if they're watching this back, they still owe me a mug. They still owe me a Padawan mug.
Right? I worked for them for a year. I can't even get a black hoodie that I designed. I was the one who sent Dave all the mock-ups of like all the t-shirts and everything in black. I'm like, this is the way to go. And he was like, no. I leave, they make them, and I can't even get one. I'm like, what is that about? He's like, well, you need to work here full time. I'm like, not happy about that. But they're the sort of people that like you can keep going back to as well. Like we're working on you know that I'm working on other stuff with them as well. Stuff that I can't talk about yet. It's very, very much under wraps, but it is very exciting.
And it's so hard for me to keep my mouth shut. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. Well, all I will say is it's not going to be long until you don't have to keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
Let me just say that. So that's going to be quite exciting. But they're always trying to innovate. They were never ones to just be like, okay, well, we just resell lightsabers. Like that's not them. That's not Dave for sure. Dave is the only person I know that can have 75 ideas a day.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And he doesn't get to them all in that day, but he'll get to them all eventually.
Yeah.
You know, and the difference is they care. Like
and that is the thing, that they care about their community, but they care about bringing things to a variety of different things to people, and customer service for them is the utmost importance.
100%. Like the customer has to be happy, and to the point that like I've seen it myself in person where we get people's sabers that haven't been working and we fix them and we get them, like at one point we were turning them around like within 2 days to get them straight back out to the people, and if we can't fix them straight away, we figured out a different way to fix the problem, and that is what is missing from a lot of the other resellers. There are a lot, I'm not gonna lie, there are a lot of good resellers out there. The rise of drop shippers became ridiculous.
It was too much, wasn't it? It was, you see like people would join the UK groups and then they'd be sharing like their Etsy store or something, or sharing this, and who don't know lightsabers, just seeing, oh, I can make some money there.
Yeah.
And then just go, oh, I'm just going to drop ship. I'm just going to, oh, what's the, if this is a problem, what happens? Oh, well, you have to ship it back. What, to you? No, to the manufacturer. No. Oh, okay, wait a minute, what? Oh, because I don't keep, can you just send me another part? I can't. Well, I can,
We
but I'll
don't
have
have
to
them.
order it. It'll take like 6 weeks to get it, and it's like, well, I can't use my very expensive saber because let's be fair, right? Even the Nexus TXQ, the lower end that are now not, in fairness, the lower end really, the quality those guys are pushing up is amazing. The accuracy has come on board, the sound quality, the new boards they've brought out. But if you roll back 3 years ago, you know, they were the cheapest and looked down upon by the saber gods and of the community and stuff. But actually, if that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford, right?
And
If
they're
you
not
can't
cheap.
afford £1,000 accurate saber, I'll have my slightly accurate £200 saber or my £250 saber, right?
And let's
Because
be
that's what I
fair,
can
like
afford.
200, £250 saber is still not a cheap saber.
Still not cheap.
You
No,
know,
no.
yet people put their money into this, and we've spoken about this as well before. And it's just like people do. You're right. They look down on the entry level sabers, and
Yeah,
I'm like, but people that subscribe to my channel and everything, they see me review these entry level sabers, and even the progress from when I started doing this to now
yeah.
is like night and day. Like
It is
the Luke
100%.
that I just reviewed, I
Oh,
was
that's
just
on,
like, this,
isn't it? Yeah,
it is on point. I was just like, but also the main company is always looking to improve, because that's the
yeah.
newest version, and there's another newer version coming out,
Already,
which
yeah.
is actually even more screen accurate.
Mm.
Which, when I looked at it, because we were talking about it a little bit,
Yeah.
and when I re-looked at it, I noticed how they're doing, the grenade part. They're
Yeah.
actually changing the sizes on each of it as it
Oh,
were
okay.
screen
Yeah.
accurate. The more I looked at it, the more I was like, that's even closer, because the other ones have all been very standard. But yeah, if people know Luke's lightsaber, they'll know what I'm talking about. If they don't, I've got a review of KR Saber's Luke lightsaber because it's my favorite, and you'll see the level of detail in that. But what happened was, because we had this massive rise in drop shippers and resellers, a lot of the bespoke lightsaber companies couldn't compete,
Yeah.
and we've seen a lot of them disappear, which is
Do you know what? Which is
absolutely
a shame,
heartbreaking.
actually, isn't it? Yeah, because like I've got a bespoke lightsaber that randomly my friend's husband made, like a blaster sort of lightsaber. No, he doesn't have a business or anything. He just randomly makes lightsabers. And he's like, "Do you want me to make your lightsaber?" I was like, "Sure." But then, yes, I've got some accurate lightsabers, but a chunk of my collection is something that I've either put together myself from parts. I was just looking for one to show you. I just dropped some pictures of this one earlier on, actually.
Yes.
So I just dropped some pictures of that one, which I've put together. Most of the parts are from Padawan Outpost, except the control box, which is from Via Sabers. But all the other parts are available from Padawan Outpost. And I do like to have something that's a bit different and something that's mine. And that's where you say, like, you lose those smaller lightsaber companies that you can go, I want this. And I go, yeah, sure, I'll make that. It's not a problem.
Yeah. And we lost good ones as well. Like, Revan Sabers went, and me and Stony will always rave about
You two
Revan
love
Sabers
Revan
forever.
Sabers, don't you? Yeah.
We love, because they're one of ones. Like, I want a saber that's a one of one. Like, no one else has this saber. Like, that's the sort of stuff that I really, really like. Like, I love my replicas and all of that, but if I can get my hands on a saber that there's only one made, like I did that review recently of the Cobra Kai lightsaber,
Yes.
and it's just
That
like,
was amazing.
again, one of one, and so, and the problem is the more there are resellers, and the prices of those are getting cheaper and cheaper, the people that make them one off have to charge X amount of money because of the amount of time it takes to make a one-off saber.
One-off saber, like machining it and stuff, and
exactly. And then what that does is it brings the price up, and so people don't go there because they're like, well, why would I bother with that when I can get this for way cheaper? And it's just like, you can, for sure, but also the company you're buying from are not the best. You have no recourse if there's anything wrong with it, and I'm not going to lie, the internals are probably not that great. But I don't know if you've noticed this. That wave has peaked and is actually on its way down. The
Yeah, do
way
you know?
of resellers.
I think it was lockdown. I think everyone was stuck at home, weren't they? Because TikTok and everything got massive, and and to be fair, there are still some lightsaber like people like reviewers and stuff like that went huge in lockdown and is still
Mhm.
around now. And Luke's lightsabers, for example, I enjoy
Yep.
watching his stuff. Actually, he's really good. That went
Nice
huge,
bloke,
but
yeah.
then yeah. But when then you've got stuff sweeping around TikTok, and it's easy. I mean, that was me. Where my legs honestly started was in lockdown. That's where my sabers kind of started, mainly like kind of growing was in lockdown. But I think you
Yeah.
had a captive audience. The whole world was stuck at home, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you could still get a lightsaber shipped. I'm not going to lie, I did get a lightsaber shipped from AliExpress that came from Wuhan in lockdown in the midst of COVID. You know, and you're like, should I be ordering this? Like,
I
I'm
don't want to
going
open
to do
this.
it. It's all right. I'll just like anti-back it. It'll be fine. But like you say, the community definitely wises up to it. Shares a lot of stuff about don't buy from this person, buy from that person. And yeah, I think they definitely, everywhere you look, somebody was selling lightsabers, weren't they? It was just crazy.
Yeah.
But like you say now, I think they've slowly realised I actually can't keep doing this.
Then you have a wave of companies that just send any old reviewer a lightsaber. And unfortunately, there's a lot of reviewers out there that will just review anything without the care or attention to what that company is, what they're supplying. It's just like for them, it's just a case of, well, here's something free. It's content for my channel.
Yeah, gets me
I'm
the
going to
likes
go
and the
for it.
views. So that's
Exactly.
one thing I like about you is you actually have morals and you're a decent human being.
I
And
try.
you listen to my rants. But
I do.
so I know you before Padawan. I
Yeah.
definitely was watching your channel with your Lego reviews and that as well. And then I know that you were an absolute customer of Padawan for what, a
Mm.
year before you worked there?
It probably more. Yeah.
Yeah, before you worked there, and you bought numerous sabers from them. So for you to be able to go, I recommend Padawan Outpost. You're recommending them because you were a customer pre-working there, and then
Yep.
you worked there, so you know the company, you know the values, you know Jazz and Dave.
Yep.
Whereas, and again, I know that multiple companies reach out to you and go, "Hey Jim, I'll send you this free lightsaber. Do you want to
Oh
review
yeah.
it?" And it would
No.
be so easy for you to go, "Yeah, sure, send me all your free stuff, and I'll say nice things about you."
Yeah.
But what
Because
you do
that's
is
the
you
other thing.
say no.
That's the other thing. It's just like I I don't think, I could be wrong. I don't think you should be disingenuous in a review, right? So I don't think that if a company has sent you a lightsaber for free, I don't think that means that you only have to say nice things about it.
No, but
You
people
know,
do.
people do.
People
Um,
have been. I'm going to talk about those goddamn Ahsoka sabers that I really dislike.
yes, they're
But
awful.
the round ones that are just not Ahsoka sabers, right? The Ahsoka sabers were not round. But I've probably seen 5 different people get this lightsaber for free. Because I haven't seen anyone that's actually purchased it.
Nope.
Get this lightsaber for free and go on about how amazing it is. If that's what you like, fine, that's what you like. But if you want an Ahsoka saber, you do not want a round tube, shiny fingerprint magnet. You want an Ahsoka saber, right? And I'm not talking
Which is basically the only reason that they're Ahsoka ones is because they've got those diamonds on
the
them.
diamonds, yeah. Like, come on. It's not
And
what
let's be
Ahsoka saber
fair,
looks
if
like.
someone's spending, and I saw how much those were, if someone's spending that amount of money on Ahsoka sabers, you can buy actual Ahsoka sabers for that price. And it was just a case of, well, we've been sent something for free, so we have to say lots of nice things about it.
And also, like,
And
if you've been a
go on.
customer of that company for an extended period of time and your extended network of friends are customers of that company, you know what that company's like. You know you
Yeah,
can trust them or you know you can't trust
yeah,
them. But then and I'm going to chuck a saber company name out there, I'm going to do it. But then to recommend a company like Art Sabers, for example, if you trust Pilot, Art Sabers reviews for the last 3 months, they are shocking.
yeah,
Shocking. They're one of the higher priced dropshippers.
yep.
The customer service clearly sucks from the Trustpilot reviews. And yet, I won't name them, but there's definitely to reviewers who are regularly like, hey, look at this guy from lightsabers, use my code. You're sending people to a company. Go and look at the Trustpilot reviews for the last 3 months for lightsabers, and you would not buy from that company. But you might do if you didn't go to Trustpilot, because Matey Boy gives you a discount code and says great things about them. Because he ain't getting the real customer experience, is he?
No, you get preferential treatment. For sure. Like, and I know obviously at this point, with Padawan Outpost, I get preferential treatment. I do, right? I walk in there and I say to Dave, can I review some of your lightsabers? And he gives me a pile of lightsabers to review, right? Yeah. I know this. Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
But also, I am happy to say, yes, I have, because I don't keep all of the sabers that I borrow. Some of them are too nice and I can't give them back. And I'm like, Dave, I want this one. I'm doing this because I've got a stack of 4 just there. I will happily say, buy from this company because I know them that well. And I will say the same thing about Force Sabers as well.
I was going to mention Force Sabers,
I was a Force Sabers customer for nearly 2 years before me and Ben became friends, right?
Yeah.
And then we started chatting along.
Your feedback and one of your reviews, though, is part of the reason why Ben then changed his business model and started giving people access to the Zeno board. Because he didn't before, did he? Lock it all down. And then you were like, mate, you've got to change this. And I remember that when you'd done that. And then Ben listened, implemented a change. But other companies don't get that because everyone's like, oh, God, yeah, that's so amazing.
Oh, it's amazing. Everything's perfect. Yeah. And it's just like, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. And also, like, I think it's okay to say, like, I say this about the Dooku saber, any curved saber that I get. This is not my thing. I don't like curved lightsabers. But for a curved lightsaber, I like how this is. I like how that is. You can be perfectly honest. You can be positive in your reviews while still saying things that you're not happy about. Like, case in point, the inability to access the SD card back in the day with Force Sabers. And I said it on the thing. I'm like, this is great. It's just missing this and this and this, which I think would make a big difference, you know? And Ben, being a good, like, business, went, right, we need to have a look at this and change it. Didn't take it badly, took it as a way to improve. Padawan Outpost did the same. Anytime someone says this isn't working, they do what they can to make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't think you necessarily have to be negative to get your point across.
No.
But being just absolutely 100% positive about absolutely everything about a saber is disingenuous.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think that should be the way it is. But you know what, right? I am going to then turn around and say there's a lot of people out there that want a free lightsaber, and you know, if they say to themselves, you know what, if I say good things about this, I'm going to get a free lightsaber. I get it. I do get it. I'm not like totally and utterly against this whole. I'm not like, oh, you can't do it unless you're 100%. I'm like, I get it. I do get it. But the problem is that it muddies the waters.
It does, yeah.
You know, and if
when you're promoting companies with bad practice because they give you free stuff, just winds me up.
Nah. Me too.
Winds me up.
And I think when you're a bigger channel, like I am what I am. But when you're a bigger channel, I think the more subs you have, the more eyes you have on that. I think it's your responsibility to be more honest with things. Because the last thing I would ever want is to turn around to someone and say, I love this lightsaber, it's perfect, you should go and buy from here. And they buy from there, they spend £200-300 of their hard-earned money in a financial crisis, and they get a piece of shit. I'm like, that would break my heart.
Get it.
Or they don't ever get it, and they have to spend months battling to try and get their money back, which they're never going to get either. And I'm like, that would hurt. That would hurt me if that happened to someone. Like, I've had people come to me and say, I bought this from Padawan Outpost, but it's not working. And I'm always like, then you need to reach out to them because they're
reach
happy
out
to help.
They'll fix it.
They'll
sort you out.
And quite a few of the times they come back and said, "Yeah, I messaged them and they fixed it within days." I'm like,
Mm.
that's who they are. That's why
Yeah.
I say go to them, because I know their business practices and I know how much they care. And at the end of the day, that's the main thing that matters, is find the companies that care. Not the companies that pop up every 2 weeks or that drop ship or whatever. Find the companies that have a presence.
Have a
That
presence, have a face, care.
yeah,
That Padawan Outpost lives every month. They've done that from day dot. From
yep.
day dot, they've gone live every month. Back in the day, it used to be
That
Quiz Mirror.
I was on
Still is
one.
Quiz Mirror. Yes, you was. But yeah,
Um,
like they're live. They have a presence. They're good people. Like
they're at every
people
single
just
Comic Con
recommend them
going.
all the time. Oh god, yeah. I think I'm doing a couple with them this year.
Are you really? Amazing.
Yes, quite exciting.
I think ultimately what we're saying is, if you're looking to buy a lightsaber, you have to do your own due diligence sometimes.
You do, yeah.
Search that company on Trustpilot for first and foremost.
100%.
Don't just go,
yeah.
I've got a discount code for this particular thing, I'm just going to buy from them, because you know what? Everybody's got a discount code for that company. I guarantee
Yeah.
you. He says
Ask
having
about
a
them.
5% discount code for Padawan Outpost.
Yeah.
But like, I will only put my name to the companies I believe in. And I think there should be more of that out there. And it hurts when there isn't.
Mm.
And I think, I'll be honest, I think you and I take a lot of it too much to heart.
Yeah.
We try and save everybody.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, but these people, and it's just like, that's not our responsibility. You know, we do everything we can already. And you know, there has to be an element of people out there. If you want to buy a lightsaber, do your work, do your just search the companies.
diligence. I can't say it either.
Yeah,
Ask in the saber groups. Ask in the
yeah,
saber if you say it's if I don't know Smith sabers or whatever. Ask about them in the saber groups, and people will tell you honestly if they've had a good experience
yeah.
with them or if they've had a bad experience with them, and they'll
I see it all
definitely
the time.
steer you away from the companies that you should never buy from.
Yeah. So what I will say is, everybody that's watching this right now, if you're based in the UK, even if you're not based in the UK, head over to Facebook and find the UK Lightsaber group and join that, because, as I said, Sheena is queen of all there. But
It's a
the
good group as
information
well.
that you
Nice bunch of people in there.
it is a good group.
Yeah.
And you see the same people posting, same
Yeah.
people getting excited about things. And I get messages from people on there going, oh, I saw this and then I bought this because of this. And it's genuinely a really nice place to be, which is very difficult to say when you're talking about the internet.
Yeah.
I
think half the group have got let me pronounce it, the Vendari.
I can't pronounce it properly.
Yeah, half the group
Vendari.
have got that because of some of the stuff we was doing and sharing in there.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing saber. It's fantastic. Sounds
my second favorite lightsaber of all time.
Yes.
So, you know, again, that's another thing. It's just like, you look for these, you do find these smaller companies like AZ Sabers, who are not a big company, but are doing some of the nicest work.
Yeah.
That you're just like, wow. And not at a cost level that you'd think,
no,
oh my God,
fairness,
it's Vader's vault. I'm going to have to wait 3 years for it.
For a profit that sounds the way that thing does and the way you can spin it, well priced. Very
incredible.
Well priced.
Incredible. I know a few people that have bought one recently due to my recommendation, and I'm like, I know without a shadow of a doubt that they're going to be over the moon with that lightsaber.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Because I am, you are, everybody is that's had one. So, you know, and those are the sorts of people that I like to promote. Saying that, they will actually be coming on Jim's Cantina very, very soon, to chat about what they're doing, how they got into everything. So I'm really excited to chat to them, because they're, again,
nice people,
lovely people.
They were
so
with Bro DeLorean last year, I think it was.
So he was he was doing an install,
doing a live install, weren't he?
Yeah. So, you know, and I know them via Stony, And I know that Stoney would never promote anybody that he doesn't believe in. That's for sure.
100% not. No, he
One
says
of
what
the
he feels
vocal
about.
people.
Yeah, one
Yeah,
of the most
and
vocal reviewers. Yeah,
I love that about him. Like it's, I don't think he'd mind me saying it's done some damage in the past, but it's actually created some good things, and I
yeah,
think that's
yeah.
important. I think it's important to be honest when you're talking about these things because things don't get improved if you're not honest.
No, they don't.
Simply.
To be fair,
Um, but Sheena, I've kept you for far too long, as per usual. You and I, when we start talking, it ends up being
you
hours
don't
upon
stop.
hours
Yeah,
upon hours. We don't stop. Um, but I'd like to thank you for coming on to Jim's
my
Cantina. It's
pleasure.
been too long. You should have been on this last year, but I mean, I think I only did 2 of them last year, so whatever. I'm going to try and do more. I
Do
have
more.
lots of
Do
people
more.
lined up to come on. I've
I
got
have a
lots of
list of
really
people for you
interesting.
who I want to see because it's all about me, obviously. Like,
Oh,
my
of
channel
course, of course.
should be driven by what I want.
Thing is, quite a few times you've been like, "You should do this. You should get this person. You should get this person." I'm like, "I've already thought about it."
They're on the
Um,
list. Shut up.
they're on the list, but yeah, there are quite a few really interesting people coming up. Um, but for now, find SJ Weathering on all of the socials. Follow her because she's got incredible stuff. I'm going to go ahead and say it, right? And you're going to hate me for it. I think you should do. You should start a YouTube channel,
God
and I
damn
think
it,
you should.
no.
Yep, and I think you should start filming. You don't even need to film your face. I think if you just had a camera over and what you were doing while you were doing it and sped it up so that people could see what you do, people would love it. People love stuff like that. They love build
I
videos.
know.
They love, you know,
The process is a little bit all over the place, Jim. It's not refined,
that.
let me tell you.
But that's fine. Like that's what people love because you're a normal person doing this.
Mm.
You're not a company that's just like we do it the same thing every time, you know. And
This
I
one
think,
today, I was in the kitchen sink with a green scourer, like cleaning off the aluminium black. People don't need to see my kitchen sink, let me tell
but you don't need to put those things in. You know what I mean?
you.
Like you've got the same like work mat as me, the
Yes,
Jedi
yes, I have. Yeah.
Fallen Order work mat, right? If you just had your sabers on there while you're working and doing bits, you can cut it all together and be like, it started as this and finished as this. I think people would love it. People comment down below on if you think Sheena should do it,
Maybe one day.
and
Although I do randomly have 3 poor little lowly subscribers who never get any content because I've never posted anything, but they're still there.
brilliant.
Thank you to you 3. Thank you.
Am I one of them?
I don't know.
No, I don't
I'm
know
not
either. I
sure.
don't think so. I will be after this. I'm going to go
Yeah,
and
after
subscribe to
this,
it.
I'll go to 4.
And yeah, yeah. And I'm just going to be like, look, you just need to do videos because I would love to watch that. I love stuff like that. Like when Ben over at Force Sabers, when he does his build videos,
I
they're
love his
so
build videos.
interesting,
Yeah.
you know. And I mean, he is chaos incarnate, but you're a little bit more like settled, and I think your videos would be. They would be the sort of thing that I would put on if I'm doing something else, you know, and I'd be watching it and I'd be like doing Lego. It would be perfect for when I'm building Lego. Yeah. So you know what? You're always demanding that I do stuff. It's time for me to demand that you do stuff. It's only fair. But everybody head over, follow Sheena, do the whole thing. I'll put the information obviously in the description below. I am currently running a massive giveaway for 3 lightsabers when I hit 2,000 subscribers. I don't know where I'm at when this video comes out. My video is going to be a little bit all over the place because I did the silly thing, cutting all my hair off, but having 6 videos recorded with long hair. So you'll see this, and then you'll go to the next video, and I'll have long hair magically. But yeah, so please subscribe to the channel because I am getting close to 2,000 subscribers, and
almost there.
it'd just be nice, wouldn't it? Just be nice when I get there. So I'll put a link to the giveaway video below as well. Most of this is going to be me putting links
A lot of
in the
links
comments.
going in there.
Yeah, a lot of links in there, but it's what we do. It's what we do. But for now, Sheena, thank you so much for coming on Jim's Cantina.
Thank you for having me.
You're always welcome to anything I do. We will have to do something else at some point soon as well, like a
Yeah.
video of us together, actually in real
In the
zoos,
flesh, real life.
in the flesh, because we met quite a few times in the flesh anyway.
Yep.
But we should make a point. I don't know what we do, but we'll do something. We'll sort something. But thank you everybody for always. Can you imagine me and you at Comic-Con with Padawan Outpost? It would be carnage.
Oh God, it'd be a nightmare. It'd be an absolute nightmare. We should do
Let's
that.
do it.
Let's just take over Padawan at Comic-Con.
Yeah, it'd be like, you got us now.
Yeah.
But thanks everybody for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like, comment below on what your favorite part of the video was, and make sure that you say that Sheena needs to start a YouTube channel. It's very important. And message her everywhere to say that she should start a YouTube channel. But until next time, thank you, Sheena. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will catch you next time, where I open the doors once again to Jim's Cantina.